I'm burning the bush with the mind-reading seeds.
The seeds! The seeds! Oh! That's smart. I burnt my little pinky.
Before streaming marathons, millions tuned in for the shipwrecked antics of Gilligan and friends. Yet behind coconut radios and slapstick, the island hid some surprising secrets. Here are 10 of the oddest, least-known facts about TV's favorite castaways, counting down to the strangest of all. Number 1. The show was canceled for Gunsmoke. Literally. Let's go back to the sun-drenched set of Gilligan's Island, where castaways imagined another season of slapstick rescues and coconut radios. But in 1967, CBS pulled the trapdoor. The network chose to make room for Gunsmoke, a Western favorite, bumping Gilligan and his companions without warning. The twist? It wasn't just ratings or schedules. It was a personal favor. The president of CBS at the time, William S. Paley, reportedly canceled Gilligan's Island because his wife wanted Gunsmoke to stay on the air. The decision came so abruptly that the cast, including Bob Denver as Gilligan and Dawn Wells as Mary Ann, never got official notice. Many packed their bags for another season, only to hear the show was gone for good. In a flash, a comedy classic disappeared, leaving fans and actors adrift, and proving that sometimes network decisions are as unpredictable as a 3-hour tour gone wrong. As the tropical breeze sweeps away Gilligan's laughter, it's time to dig deeper into more wild secrets from the island. Number 2. The iconic hut furniture. Came from Palm Springs. Coconut cups and palm leaf roofs might look native, but the furnishings on Gilligan's Island came straight off California's showroom floors. Rather than scouring tropical beaches, set designers hit up stylish outdoor furniture stores in Palm Springs and around Los Angeles. That bamboo coffee table or casual lounger seen in episodes from the first season? Chances are it was a 1964-era backyard gem purchased from a hip desert retailer, dolled up with weathered paint or raffia. Trendy rattan was easier to find on the Sunset Strip than on a deserted island. Even the makeshift hammocks dangling in the background often had tags from real patio brands, stitched on just out of camera range. The result? A hut so boho chic it would fit right in at a retro pool party. It is a reminder that Hollywood's clever illusions started on local shopping sprees, transforming suburban style into TV's most memorable castaway hangout. As the camera pans across Gilligan and the gang relaxing in their unlikely den, one question lingers. Just how far did those designers go for a piece of paradise? Number 3. The cast ate real food in scenes. Imagine standing under the blazing studio lights, sweat trickling down your back, and someone hands you a real banana cream pie. Again, that was a daily reality for the cast of Gilligan's Island in 1964. The banana cream pies and coconut milk you saw on screen were not plastic props. They were fully edible, lovingly prepared by crew members right on set. The smell of sugar and fresh bananas wafted through the soundstage, luring hungry cast members during breaks and occasionally driving them a little mad. After weeks of filming boatloads of scenes with these so-called tropical treats, exhaustion set in. Cast members joked about feeling queasy at the mere sight of another coconut-laden dessert. These weren't just comedy bits. They became part of the actors' lived experience, connecting them in a very real, very tasty, or not-so-tasty way. Every drizzle and dollop was authentic, which brought a messy, delightful truth to those slapstick food fights. The next time you see a pie splatter across Gilligan's face, remember, he really took one for the team. A flavor you don't soon forget, as the island's next secret comes into view. Number 4. Actors' contracts caused castaways to stay put. The crashing waves and familiar palm trees of Gilligan's Island became second home to millions. But the question always lingered. Why didn't anyone ever get rescued? The secret wasn't just the professor's faulty inventions or Gilligan's goofs. It was all about contracts. The actors, including Bob Denver and Dawn Wells, were locked in by strict 7-year agreements, making it nearly impossible for storylines to send them back to civilization. The producers wanted to protect their core premise, the stranded magic of a desert island, an idea that kept viewers hooked season after season from 1964 to 1967 on CBS. Any big change, like introducing rescue plots, was seen as risking the show's delicate spell. The actors' signatures wound up being the real reason they stayed forever on that quirky little patch of sand. With every coconut radio and botched raft, the genius of Gilligan's Island was its irresistible promise of more schemes, more silliness, and no easy exits. As the island sun sets again, we see just how tightly Hollywood holds on to the magic. and the cast. Number 5. Mary Ann nearly had a different name. Imagine sitting down to your favorite island sitcom, only to meet Gilligan and a castaway named Bunny. That was almost reality for Gilligan's Island when producers first pitched the character who would become Mary Ann. Early drafts called her Bunny, but something felt off. Test audiences in 1964 said Bunny sounded frivolous and hard to relate to. It was Dawn Wells herself, already attached to the project, who championed the down-to-earth change. She suggested Mary Ann, sweet, approachable, the kind of girl you might have grown up with in Kansas. That shift turned a laughable stereotype into the lovable girl next door, securing her place in pop culture history. When the pilot finally aired on CBS, Mary Ann Summers became the warm heart of the group, forever baking coconut cream pies and winning over America. Sometimes the right name makes all the difference. As the sun sets behind the palm trees, we move on to uncover more quirky corners of this classic castaway tale. Let's pause for a second. Did you always root for Mary Ann over Ginger? Or did you have a favorite castaway? Share your childhood memories or which character you thought you'd be on a desert island. Number 6. Real Navy men advised production. Before the first coconut radio or slapstick rescue, the crew behind Gilligan's Island tapped into serious real-world expertise. Navy veterans were invited on set to guide everything from raft construction to the salty language that peppered each episode. These advisors scrutinized scenes, offering pointers on how a true castaway might patch a leaking boat or argue over the compass. Even the iconic SS Minnow wreckage, first glimpsed in 1964, carried a stamp of authenticity, down to the tangled lines and makeshift sails. Fans noticed too, pointing out that, beneath the zany gags, the show got the little things right, grounding their favorite sitcom in believable mishaps. It's a subtle layer, something you might only catch after a few reruns or a deep dive into the behind-the-scenes features. The laughter came easy, but that realism, flecks of sea salt and rope burns included, kept you believing these 7 stranded souls just might make it home. As the tides shift, it's these hidden touches that linger, ready to pull us deeper into the next secret of the island. Number 7. The Skipper. Was a veteran. In real life. If you ever watched Gilligan's Island, you remember the unforgettable Skipper. Big-hearted, booming laugh, always bailing Gilligan out of trouble. But behind the scenes, Alan Hale Jr. brought more grit than the show's tropical mishaps ever revealed. In 1964, Hale was still starring in another Western when producers held auditions. Undeterred, he snuck off set in full cowboy gear and secretly read for the skipper, proving just how much he wanted the role. His dedication didn't stop there. During filming, he broke his arm. Yet instead of halting production, he simply strapped it up and pressed on, quick with a grin, sometimes even working jokes into the pain. His upbeat spirit and unstoppable work ethic brought real warmth to the Castaways story, bubbling through every coconut scene and wild plot twist. When you hear the skipper's signature bark or warm chuckle, you're hearing the spirit of an actor who gave everything no matter what. The island's fun-loving energy still feels alive, reminding us how real commitment can turn even a stranded cast into family. Number 8. The opening theme had an overlooked switch. If you listen closely to Gilligan's Island's earliest theme songs, something just doesn't add up. When the show washed ashore in 1964, only Gilligan, the skipper, and the most glamorous castaways got name-checked in the catchy intro. The Professor and Mary Ann were grouped into a throwaway "and the rest," a slight that didn't go unnoticed for long. Fans noticed, too, and voiced their dismay through a steady current of letters to CBS. By the time Season 2 rolled around in 1965, the theme song got an upgrade. Suddenly, the Professor and Mary Ann earned their rightful spots. It was a rare win for both cast and viewers, a small lyric tweak that made an outsized impact. From then on, everyone had a place in the sun. That simple change echoes a truth about the show itself. Everybody mattered, even on a desert island. Now let's paddle ahead to another quirk you may have missed. Number 9. It was almost Gilligan's Island with a different Gilligan. Picture this. The sun-blasted set of Gilligan's Island, coconuts everywhere, laughter echoing. But it almost sounded very different. Before Bob Denver donned the bucket hat in 1964, creator Sherwood Schwartz had his eye on someone else for the bumbling title role, Jerry Van Dyke. Imagine how the chemistry might have shifted. Van Dyke, destined instead for the infamous sitcom My Mother the Car, passed on Gilligan. a choice that would echo through TV trivia forever. Suddenly, Bob Denver, fresh off his role as Maynard G. Krebs on The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis, found himself shipwrecked and beloved, infusing Gilligan with quirky innocence and slapstick charm. Denver's playful energy collided perfectly with the rest of the stranded crew, transforming a Castaway sitcom into a pop culture staple. Gilligan's Island may have become synonymous with marooned mayhem, but it was dangerously close to being a totally different voyage. Just think, would the skipper have ever shouted, "Little buddy," in quite the same way? Sometimes the perfect fit really is a happy accident. Let's keep digging. There are more tropical TV secrets yet to surface. Number 10. The Lagoon wasn't on a real island. Sunshine, palm trees, and endless blue water. That's what Gilligan's Island looked like on your living room TV. But behind the camera, that full tropical playground was anything but exotic. The entire lagoon, where Gilligan botched raft launches and Skipper fell in with a splash, sat smack in the middle of the CBS Studio Center in Studio City. The crew crafted the illusion of a remote paradise with skill, but sometimes movie magic has unintended side effects. During production, filling and draining the man-made lagoon became a real headache. At one point, a leak caused a major water mishap and ended up siphoning a huge chunk of Los Angeles' water supply. It's a real Hollywood tale of smoke, mirrors, and a lot of garden hoses. So while fans at home imagined marooned castaways on a far-flung beach, the truth was far closer to rush hour traffic than crashing waves. It's just one of the ways Gilligan's Island blurred fantasy and reality, leaving us wondering what other secrets those palm fronds might have hidden.